You're watching Less Than Epic's coverage of the Overwatch League. Enjoy the show.
Hello everyone and welcome to weekly picks for week 5 of the Overwatch League. This is NovaPunkX. I'm here with Kinky and Ratted. We're going to break down week 5 for you. This is the final week of stage 1 and we have some teams fighting to secure those 3 playoff spots for the stage purse. These playoffs are based solely on overall standing and division has no effect. With that being said, we technically have 7 teams that could get into the playoffs, but some of them will certainly need a lot of help. We will certainly make our playoff picks at the end, but for now let's dive into week 5 picks.
So starting off the week, we have the Shanghai Dragons taking on the Dallas Fuel, and we all picked the Dallas Fuel. There's no way Shanghai can pull this off.
Game number 2 is going to be San Francisco Shock versus Los Angeles Gladiators, and in this one we have a tight match. I am picking San Francisco to win this. However, I think it will be definitely a good game. I think that Los Angeles is going to try to make a bounce back since they've been downward trending pretty hard the last couple weeks, and they need to pull off a win. So I'm again going with San Francisco. Take it away, Ratted.
So I'm the odd man out here. I picked the Gladiators to win this game, and I did so because I've been watching their 2 DPS, specifically Hydration, but their other DPS, I'm blanking on his name right now, but he primarily plays Tracer. These guys have been looking really hot, and I actually think their play style is one that San Francisco just hasn't really done well against, and I'm going with them this game. Game 3 this week is Valiant versus Seoul, and we've all picked Seoul to win this game. Valiant's been on a downward trend. I really don't think that Valiant's going to have a chance in this game.
Kicking off Thursday night, we have the Philadelphia Fusion versus the Boston Uprising. We're split on this one, as you can imagine, with NovaPunk being a Boston fanboy, but I believe, and Ratted believes, that Philadelphia Fusion will be able to pull this one off. It just, as long as they play Poco in that lineup, they can win it. If they don't play Poco, I think Boston has a much better chance of winning this game.
Well, I am a Boston fanboy, but Boston has also been winning 4 games in a row. They've been swinging upwards, trending upwards, making much better choices, communicating way better. I think this team is going to be one of the top teams at the end of the Overwatch League, but for right now they just got to focus on Philadelphia, make up for the Patriots losing, and make me a happy man. On to game 2 of Thursday, we have Florida versus New York X. As you may imagine, the entire LTE crew has picked New York to win this match. Florida is only 6 players. They don't look good. They can't swap around very well. And, well, New York is at the top of the league. 1 or 2, depending who you ask. And are looking like quite the hell of a team, so this will not be much of a matchup.
On to game 6 this week, we have London versus Houston, and we've all picked London to win this game. Probably not that we don't think Houston could win. London has just looked so good, especially after they did lose a game and have seriously turned their game around, so we're all going London.
Starting day 3, we have the Gladiators and the Dallas Fuel. Again, we are split. This time I'm picking the Gladiators, even though I just said that they've been not playing so great since the beginning of this league. But they just seem like they're more of a well-rounded team than the Dallas Fuel at this point. I know Dallas has been missing a player for all of Stage 1, and I don't think they're going to be able to do much more until they can get him back for Stage 2.
I am picking Dallas, as is Ratted. This team has a very good DPS duo. I think that they have a chance. Seagull's on that team, so they should have a chance to pull it off versus the Gladiators, who have not looked good.
Yeah, I'm going Dallas too, and mostly because I love Dallas and I'm rooting for them, but also I do think they have the edge here.
On to game 2 of day 3, we have Seoul Dynasty versus San Francisco Shock, and the LTE crew has picked Seoul across the board. We just think that Seoul's a better team. They've been struggling as of lately a little bit, but they did get a win last week in a very tight Game 5. I think they can ride that wave to take out San Francisco.
Jumping into the 9th game this week, we've got Valiant versus the Shanghai Dragons, and we're unanimously Valiant across the board. I mean, we're obviously rooting for Shanghai. They're on an upswing, kind of, in the way that they're playing. Valiant's on a downswing, but it's just not really that close. So we're Valiant.
Starting off our final day of action, we have New York versus London. We are split on this one as well. Radin and I both believe that London are going to come out with the win here. It's just with their performance over Seoul, when you compare it to how New York played them, there's just, in my mind, there's no way that if they can prepare that well for Seoul, there's no way they can't prepare that well for New York.
The only wild card that I would really add to that is that New York has better individual pop-off players than Seoul does. Seoul plays better as a team, which means that if you prepare for them, you can overcome them. But there's the wild card of, Pine just popping off on McCree again or something. But at the same time, I do agree with you, Kinky. I think that London is going to be able to pull this one out over New York.
I have to go New York, and if you checked out our power rankings from this week, you'll note that I put New York as number 1, while these boys put London. I feel like New York's a very good team, as is London, and I'm giving New York the edge with their pretty good swaps in between matches. Like the guy said, Pine will come in sometimes to play specific maps because he's very good at those maps. And I think that gives them a little bit of an edge. However, I totally expect this to go to 5 games and be one hell of a game. On to the second game of Saturday, we will have Houston at Boston. And we are, again, not unanimous on this vote. I have picked, of course, Boston to win this. I feel like I said earlier, Boston's on a trending up, and they are playing very well together as a team. They still have a very, very crazy dive comp and dive almost perfectly. I think that they can take Houston's DPS out of the picture and just team wipe them.
What Nova meant to say is, I'm a Boston fanboy, and I'm going with Boston.
This is going to be a really close game. Both of the teams are on an upward trending pattern right now. They're both playing much better than what everybody expected them to be playing. I just feel like the way that Houston's been playing, they've been playing a little bit better than Boston. Not to say that Boston's playing bad, I just feel like Houston's just playing a little bit better. I feel like they'll have the edge in this one.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that. I'm not gonna add too much more to that. The Jake Junkrat card, though, I think is something that Boston's gonna have a really hard time dealing with. But we'll see. Maybe they can pull it out. On to our last game of the week, we've got Florida versus Philadelphia, and we're unanimously across the board Philadelphia. Philly has just been an uptrending team. Personally, I love the way that they play. They've been kind of my second favorite team in the league just because of their really unique play style and Shadowburn just having the capacity to go off. So we're Philly across the board.
So that concludes our Week 5 picks. However, there will be a 2-game playoff series playing out at the very end of Week 5 matches. That will be the top 3 teams from the standings. If you take a look at the standings right now, the teams that could potentially make it, again, some of these are a stretch and would need lots of help, but London, New York, Seoul, Houston, Boston, LA Valiant, and Philadelphia. All of those teams could potentially secure a playoff spot. However, I think, and the boys can jump in if I'm wrong, that we will see a playoff from London, New York, and Seoul, with London potentially taking that number 1 seed and getting the first game bye.
Yeah, I think London's going to take that first game bye, but it all depends on if they're able to overtake New York in their game this week, which obviously I'm picking them for that. So, but we'll see.
I definitely think London's going to get number 1. I think that they're going to end up playing Seoul, though, in the championship round. I don't think New York can repeat against Seoul, but I feel like when they get to the championship game, London and Seoul is going to be a lot closer than it was last time.
Oh, for sure.
That first game bye is going to be crucial. So otherwise, they're playing back-to-back matches.
Luckily for Seoul, they don't play any matches on Saturday, so they'll be super fresh.
That is true.
Alright everyone, thanks for watching again, and be sure to check out the final week of Overwatch League Stage 1. The playoffs will take place again right after the conclusion of the week, and we will see 2 amazing games that will be happening from the top 3 teams in the league. As always, thanks for checking out Less Than Epic's coverage of Overwatch League. We will be here again to cover Stage 2, and get good, scrubs.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
See you guys in the next one.
If you like our coverage of the Overwatch League, let us know by liking and subscribing. And if you didn't, let us know why in the comments below. Maybe we can make it better. Thanks for watching, everyone.